Well, great morning, everyone. This morning, I was listening to some things now about the Epstein thing. One of them I saw Cuomo, and I didn't listen to too much of it. He was, trying to spin it and had Bill O'Reilly there and just, nonsense. They were both talking nonsense. And I saw another one that was this girl that was there. They didn't ask a thing about Trump, of course, but they asked about Clinton. She says, well, I did meet him and I shook his hand. Okay, but nothing sexual happened with him. But of course, they neglected to say a thing about Trump and ask her. They asked about Prince Andrew and, that type of thing. And she said there was some big Hollywood director that was there and, but again, spinning it, not asking a thing about Trump. So while I'm listening to those things, I'm throwing the cards, and here's what I got. So, trying to turn their back on the past, some of these ones, and embracing this argument, okay? So they're, going forward and then trying to talk about these things. That's what's in the news now. That's the big thing. So the energy coming into it is about balancing this, trying to keep things balanced. This could be about the law or knowledge and the ongoing push. Okay, the ongoing actions. Now there are some, again, the repugly uglies that are trying to balance this and trying to put out spin whatever way that they can. But there's also this balance, this push, that people want this revealed. Okay, now I saw even Roseanne Barr, who was the big, she's out of her mind, let's face it. But she was really so toxic and just all up on Trump and he's the most fabulous thing. And now all of a sudden she's going, wait a minute. Okay. Even Roseanne Barr now is backpedaling on this and going, we need that list. What do you mean, are you still talking about Epstein? That was the breaking point for her, even in her insanity. So what we have going on today, where this is moving forward to, is about his legacy, which is what? Broken. With children, his legacy and his dark drama, okay? Can't make this up. So, yeah, this is going to absolutely 100% impact him. This broken legacy of darkness, dark things flying out about his dark deeds, and that's where this is onward moving to. So the challenge is about patience. And people are in agreement that their patience is being cut. We've waited and waited and waited. We want those Epstein files. Okay? We want that. Now, if it was all top Democrats, that Trump would have put it out there and flashing lights on it. But because it's a lot about him, and you knew that going in because they ask about the Epsteins. Well, those things, they have a lot of phony things in there. When they, caught him with the Russia things, fake, phony, fake, that's what he does. So he is 100% all over there big time. So the outcome, this attachment to his ego, okay? And we have this harsh harsh information that is there, that's waiting, the outcome. Okay, this is not the happy one. Getting that information, that fight, when it comes to him. Outside influence, the fly in the ointment is trying to empower and control this himself. Okay? Now that is not a happy person there. He's trying to control the information, control what's happening daily, on a daily basis. Okay? But you could see totally getting worn down. Okay? In his pumpkin patch out there. Sitting out there with the pumpkins. But, yeah, his legacy is turning darker. His whole thing, you know, at the end, his legacy is going to be about just how dark he's been. And all his sexual things, his, 34 counts that he's been convicted on, about his, all the things that he said are going to be part of his legacy. What do you have in common with your daughter? Sex? I mean, part of this are the Repugly Uglies not hearing. Who goes out and says, what do you have in common with your daughter? And they say sex? They got pictures of her sitting on his lap as a young girl. Okay? They got pictures of him out there with some 13-year-old girl. We've had a couple of girls said they were 13 and he raped them. What part of this are they not hearing? And they want to believe that, oh yeah, no, he's had nothing to do with it, For God's sakes, he lived down the street with him in New York, and he lived down the street from him in Florida. Okay? Best friends for how many years? Best friends. I barely know him. Yeah. And then he says he wishes Elaine well. In other words, keep your mouth shut or you could go the way of Epstein. Okay? Yeah. So no, that fight is still on. People are not going to let go of this. Trump, desperately, well, what about, why are you not talking about Texas? Why are you asking about Epstein? So yeah, this is not going to go away. It's not going to go away, and it's going to be part of his broken legacy. Are you sure you want this legacy? Because this would be showing the most toxic and corrupt president ever. He's a sex predator. Yeah, sexual predator that was president. Yeah, sexually abusing a pedophile. So yeah, people they have no more patience. We want this and we want this now. Even the Repugly Uglies, the Magatonians, because they really thought that, oh yeah, now again, if this was the Democrats that were in their big thing with Clinton and stuff, he'd have it out there in spades and lights. Okay? But because it's him, and he was closer, was he chummy with Clinton? best friends with Clinton? No. But he absolutely said he was best friends. And that Trump would do everything. He tried to have sex with other guys' wives. He would, even Epstein said he's a snake. When even Epstein looked down on him and said what a horrible snake he was. I mean, yeah, a pot calling the kettle black, but yeah. So anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll have to see how it plays out today. And, in Texas, there's still a lot of people missing. Now it's up to over 170 that are missing. Just really sad day for them. And of course, FEMA, now, Dog Killer Gnome has to personally sign everything. So they're not getting the help they need. So again, yeah, another lovely, lovely drama for the Trump administration. Anyway, most mismanaged. All his plan to put people that are totally unqualified in places so he could throw them under the bus. Well, this has become a nightmare. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online and we go forward.